Welcome to my first video that doesn't exclusively deal with Old Hammer, but what are we gonna do today then? Well, since my friends over at Spellcrow Miniatures were so kind to sponsor this video, I think we're gonna kitbash some orcs for Age of Sigmar. Let's get it. Let's start with kitbash. And for most of it, we're actually using the Spellcrow bits because what they make is quite akin to the classic orcs. You have your symbolism on them with the jaggedy geometric shapes, and generally it's really good. So you can mainly use it for the bodies, and you might want to go for the 40k orcs with the arms because the Spellcrow ones are pretty good still, but they look a little thin to me. So I only used them on some where the arm pose just was better on the Spellcrow part. But yeah, generally, what you will need is probably one or two of the orc running legs or just orc legs. The beware, you have to see where the sci-fi bits are placed, so maybe you can avoid those. But generally, I think the orc running legs are the ones you want to go for. But for the command unit, which is the three guys, the champion, the musician, and the banner bearer for the unit, you want to go with the orc peon bodies because they are a one piece, they're a bit sturdier. They sit up straight also as well, so they do look a bit taller in the end. But generally, I just thought it would look cool if the command unit had a bit of a uniting feature, which was that they had like properly one piece sculpted bodies. But yeah, that's the legs, that's the bodies. You also will need some orc crew bodies. You might want to go for the topless orc bodies, but beware, you might have to do some green stuff on the arms to fit them. And two out of the sculpt I think are not viable because they have dog tags which just don't look good on orcs. But yeah, that's the main body style. For the hats, I mainly went for 40k orcs. I mean, the musician has the classic boss knob hat, and the others just have either this furry hat because it actually fits pretty well, and I think you also had one bit from the old orc kit. Then you can also use the helmets with little horns. They don't look too much out of place. And you can of course use just bear hats because they look cool and everything. As for the arms and weaponries, since this Boyz unit will just be armed with choppers, you can mainly go for the, choppers from the 40k kit. And of course you can add in some variety with the Savage Orcs kit, which has enough bits left if you don't exactly build them with all of the small weapons that you can maybe add the odd axe or chopper or sword, dagger. I wouldn't know how to describe the third thing, which is this weird beaky biting weapon thingy. It's bizarre. Anyways, as for the arms and the weapons, 40k Boyz kit, some Savage Orcs. As for the command squad, I actually went with the Art Boyz and Savage Orcs, which I used the Art Boyz, the banner holding arm, because it just looks cool if you have like a tougher arm holding a banner. And just for the, sake of a drummer, I really just had the one from the Art Boyz around, but I think the Savage Orcs can have one too. So that's free choice because I used the drumming skull from the Savage Orcs for the drummer guy. But yeah, and for the boss himself, since he has some more attacks, I actually just gave him, two weapons and gave him the shield on the back and sculpted a leather strap around, maybe some armor, and just generally a meaner hat, so I just went with the knob hat, actually, which is a bit bigger and just looks a bit meaner, like it has the mean grin. And as for shields, because this unit can have shields, you can really just buy them from Spellcrow. They have I think 10 shields on each blister, but you might want to avoid the smaller ones. But the rest is pretty good actually. It's some blank shields with some scratches on it. There's also the checkered shield with a lot of beautiful scratches that are perfect if you want to weather. And of course there's also the odd round shield, but I figured they're a bit too small actually, so you might want to leave them out. And that's basically it. You can also buy some of the Spellcrow hats because they just have this like wide mouth with a grin. It's just really good. Especially for one, I used it because I just thought the white grin just looked perfect with this storming pose. And yeah, that would be it for the kitbash because it's actually rather simple to do, but you will have some beautiful results from that. As for the basing, you can also grab yourself some mushrooms because, well, orcs and mushrooms fits perfectly together. And I know that GW used to sell a blister of, well, not a blister, but like a basing set which had some mushrooms. I think it was the caving basing set. But sadly they stopped selling it, which is quite a shame in my opinion. But now you can mainly find 2 or 3 mushrooms in an Age of Sigmar basing material kit, which you could use, but it's really just 2 to 3 mushrooms. What you really could go for is the Spellcrow one, because they have like one big set with 108 mushrooms, and there's also so much variety. It's not just your classic red cap mushroom or brown cap, but you also have some morels, I think it's called, or some sponge mushrooms. So yeah, you really have a lot of choice in there. And that's basically it for building the models like that. I hope you enjoyed this video, because I sure did making it. It was quite a lot actually. I'm thankful if you watched till the end now, because I'm sure it's gonna be a longer video. And I also want to thank Spellcrow for making this possible. Spellcrow was so kind to sponsor me with this one, and for being a YouTuber that's rather small, mainly on Instagram, I can just say, I'm just gonna say, I'm very thankful for that. And also, thankful for anyone who supports me, who comments, because there's been some nice messages about it, and I'm just straight up gonna say, seeing comments on any of my platforms, I'm always loving it, and I'm always gonna try to respond. And lastly, if you wanna try to support me to get some proper equipment, because what I have here is very ramshackle, fitting for the orcs, this video, you can support me on Patreon. I also have a Ko-Fi, but that one's mainly just to finance bits for kitbash videos or kitbash tutorials. But yeah, if you want to support me, you can hit me up on there. And as well, just hobby on. And stay tuned for the next one, because I might actually continue this project.